The heroic origin story of Joker. At the heart of Joker's character is tragedy. His origin has often been shown as one of immense suffering, a failed comedian, a struggling husband, and ultimately a victim of circumstance that pushed him into madness. This tragic fall from grace typically serves as the catalyst for his descent into villainy. However, in a world where the Joker becomes a hero, his backstory would still hold the same deep-rooted trauma, but the response to it would be fundamentally different. Instead of using his trauma as a justification for spreading chaos, the Joker might channel his anguish into fighting for the downtrodden. This version of the Joker could recognize the systemic flaws in society, the same flaws that led him to the edge, and decide to combat them. Rather than creating chaos for its own sake, he would wield unpredictability to challenge corrupt authorities, corporate greed, and those who abuse power. In this alternate take, his pivotal transformation moment might come from a realization that the world doesn't need more chaos. It needs someone willing to act outside the conventional rules of justice. The Joker could view traditional heroism, like Batman's moral rigidity, as ineffective in truly changing society. His trauma would be reinterpreted as fuel for an anti-establishment hero, one who seeks to dismantle the system through unconventional and often unsettling means. Joker's chaotic heroism, an unorthodox approach. Even as a hero, the Joker wouldn't be a typical one. His methods would remain chaotic, unpredictable, and often violent. However, the difference would lie in his motivation, now aimed at creating positive change rather than causing harm. The Joker's brand of heroism would reject law and order as tools of oppression, seeing the structures of Gotham as fundamentally broken. To him, justice would mean tearing down these systems and creating new, more equitable ones. For example, rather than simply stopping a bank robbery or saving hostages, the Joker might expose corruption at the highest levels of government or business. He could use his unpredictability to reveal hidden truths, challenging the rich and powerful in ways that Batman's more lawful approach cannot. Where Batman operates in the shadows to preserve order, Joker would be a public figure, using media and spectacle to undermine public figures and inspire revolution. The Joker's tactics might involve psychological warfare, using one fear to paralyze the corrupt while emboldening the oppressed. His penchant for trickery, deception, and theatrics would be redirected into clever traps for Gotham's elite, forcing them to confess their crimes or step down from their positions of power. In this sense, he would act more like an anarchic Robin Hood figure, stealing from the corrupt to give justice to the poor. Rivalry with Batman, a clash of ideologies. One of the most compelling aspects of a hero, Joker, would be his evolving relationship with Batman. In the traditional DC universe, the Joker is Batman's greatest enemy, representing chaos to Batman's order. If the Joker became a hero, this relationship would transform into a fascinating ideological battle between two figures striving for the same goal, saving Gotham, but through radically different means. Batman's approach to crime fighting is rigid and methodical. He believes in the power of justice, law, and control, using his vast resources to combat crime without ever crossing certain moral lines. The Joker, as a hero, would mock this approach. From his perspective, Gotham cannot be saved through traditional justice systems that have failed its people repeatedly. He would argue that only through dismantling the corrupt foundations of the city can true change happen. This ideological clash could lead to tense, reluctant alliances. Batman and Joker might work together to take down a common enemy, but their methods would always put them at odds. Joker's willingness to push boundaries, break laws, and resort to violence would force Batman to confront his own limits. Could he accept a hero who operates outside the rules, even if it means real change for Gotham? This tension would also create opportunities for philosophical discussions about morality. Batman, who has always seen the world in black and white, might have to rethink his approach in the face of Joker's success. The Joker, as a chaotic hero, would continuously challenge Batman's understanding of what it means to be a hero, possibly forcing Batman into ethical dilemmas he's never faced before. Gotham's reaction to Joker's heroism. The people of Gotham would have a complex and divisive reaction to a heroic Joker. On one hand, Gotham's lower classes, the disenfranchised, and those who have been failed by the system might rally behind Joker as a symbol of rebellion. They would see him as someone who understands their suffering and is willing to break the rules to protect them. In this sense, Joker could inspire a following, much like how in The Dark Knight Rises, 2012, Bane's actions, though villainous, struck a chord with Gotham's downtrodden. On the other hand, The wealthy elite, government officials, and law enforcement would see Joker as a terrorist, a vigilante who undermines their control. They would view his actions not as heroic, but as destabilizing and dangerous. Media outlets controlled by Gotham's elite might label him a criminal, twisting his actions to fit their narrative, further complicating his image. This dual perception could create a compelling narrative arc where Joker's morality is questioned not only by Batman and other heroes, but also by the public. He might be hailed as a savior by some, while others consider him no better than the criminals he opposes. This complexity would allow for deeper exploration of themes like justice, power, and the role of public perception in defining heroism, allies and enemies in the new Gotham. In this alternate world, Joker's allies and enemies would change dramatically. Characters like Harley Quinn might still be by his side, but her role would evolve. Rather than being the Joker's devoted accomplice in crime, Harley might act as a voice of reason, helping Joker channel his chaotic tendencies into more productive actions. Their relationship could be less toxic and more of a partnership, with Harley playing a vital role in Joker's transformation into a hero. On the villain side, traditional enemies like the Penguin, Two-Face, and the Riddler would become Joker's primary adversaries. These villains, who thrive in Gotham's corruption, would see Joker's shift to heroism as a direct threat to their control. They would band together to take him down, using Gotham's flawed system to discredit and destroy him. Meanwhile, heroes like Superman, Wonder Woman, and the Justice League might be skeptical of Joker's methods. They would recognize his potential for good, but his unpredictability and willingness to bend or break moral laws would make them cautious. Some might even oppose him outright, creating tension between Joker and the wider superhero community. Joker as a symbol of revolution. In this narrative, Joker's transition to heroism would be more than just personal. It would represent a larger social shift. His actions would challenge the status quo in Gotham, inspiring others to rise up against injustice. Joker would become a symbol of revolution, rallying the oppressed and those who feel abandoned by traditional heroes. The Joker's chaotic nature would lend itself well to leading a movement, as his unpredictability would make him hard to suppress. He could organize protests, riots, and demonstrations that challenge Gotham's institutions. His theatrical nature would be perfectly suited to a world of media manipulation, using public stunts and speeches to sway the masses. This version of Joker would echo real-world revolutionary figures, controversial, polarizing, but undeniably effective. His actions would force Gotham's elite to confront their own corruption and would raise difficult questions about what true justice looks like. Could a city so broken ever be saved through conventional means, or is chaos the only path to redemption? The role of mental health in Joker's heroism. Joker's villainous persona has always been closely tied to his mental instability. However, in a heroic version, his struggles with mental health could be a key theme. Rather than descending into madness, Joker might use his unique perspective to challenge society's stigmatization of mental illness. His journey as a hero could involve addressing not only external corruption, but also the internal battles that he faces daily. As a hero, Joker could advocate for mental health awareness, using his public persona to challenge the negative perceptions that exist in Gotham about those with mental illness. This could create a parallel story arc where Joker, while fighting external enemies, also fights against the internal struggles of his own mind, showing that even heroes can have flaws and personal battles. His transformation into a hero wouldn't just be about saving Gotham physically, but also about healing himself emotionally and psychologically. This theme could also be a source of tension between Joker and Batman. While Batman's approach to heroism is often based on suppressing his emotions to remain effective, Joker's heroism might be about embracing his imperfections. In this scenario, Joker's openness about his mental health struggles would make him a more relatable and human hero, while also challenging Batman's stoic, often emotionally repressed nature. Conclusion: the complexity of Joker as a hero. The concept of Joker as a hero offers a deep, multifaceted narrative that explores themes of chaos, morality, mental health, and the nature of justice. As a hero, Joker would be unlike any other, unpredictable, dangerous, and willing to push the boundaries of what it means to fight for good. His journey would challenge both Gotham and the audience to rethink their definitions of heroism and villainy, creating a complex, morally ambiguous figure who operates outside traditional frameworks of justice. In this alternate reality, Joker's transformation would not only affect Gotham's criminals and heroes, but would also ripple through society, forcing everyone to confront uncomfortable truths about power, corruption, and the cost of real change. Ultimately, Joker as a hero would be a symbol of the chaos necessary for revolution, and his story would ask the question, can a world built on order truly be saved by someone who thrives in disorder?